Hello boxing fans, right now I'm talking Berto, Victor Ortiz, the rematch. The first one was won by Victor Ortiz, and then obviously he lost his first defense to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now looking at this rematch, it doesn't look good for either boxer, as they both have huge flaws to their game, and both have some good qualities as well, it's got to be said. I'm going to start with Berto. He's only ever lost once to Ortiz, and that was a very close fight. He does have good power, and since his loss he's put on a large amount of muscle mass. However, I do not expect that will help his major flaw, which is his stamina. He cannot go the full 12 rounds without blowing like a bitch. It's just true. His speed is decent, his power, like I said, is decent, and he has good boxing ability. However, one of his major flaws is he's mentally weak. He is saying Ortiz must have been on peds to beat him, which means he thinks that Ortiz was supernatural. And if he's not on peds, which I don't think he is, and you are innocent until proven guilty, then it's going to be a huge ego boost to Victor Ortiz, and it'll be a confidence boost. Major talking point here. Berto has been working with Victor Conte, so maybe he should stop accusing Ortiz of taking steroids, and I do not take steroids, and worry about passing a drug test himself. He does these new training methods, you see, right? And they're to increase your natural hormone levels in your system. And one of the things I assume he'll be doing is, one of the main ones, increasing your natural EPO by simulating high altitude training, which I guess is not cheating. But what I'm going to say is, now, how will that test look, right? If you've got an increased amount of EPO in your system, even without adding anything to your system, it'll still show up on the test like, look, this is a lot higher than it's used to being, right? So how is that going to make the test look? I don't understand. Does anyone else see what I mean by that? It's going to make the test look like a laughingstock. Moving on to Victor Ortiz. I really don't understand this guy. I don't understand how people can change so rapidly. I think he might be a schizophrenic or something. Right, against Maidana, he was proper chinny and he quit. Right, against Peterson, he just had no stamina, no boxing ability, no mental aspects to his game. Against Berto, boom, right, all of a sudden he's got stamina. Where'd all this come from? He lasted the whole fight. Next minute he's getting knocked down, he's bouncing off the canvas like he's an embarrassed kid just falling over. Boom, right, he's like a blink of eyes up. Right, and you see, he was taking shots that was probably stronger than the shots he was taking from Maidana, that was putting him down and giving him wobbly legs. So you might say his chin seemed better, and all of a sudden he mentally won that fight before he entered the ring. I don't think he's ever done that before in his life. He had probably lost the fight before he got in the ring against Maidana. He lost the fight before he got in the ring with Peterson, even though he drew that match. Anyway, so next he goes out and fights Floyd Mayweather. He's got zero confidence again. He's just totally one-dimensional compared to the Berto fight, and he loses his cool and tries to headbutt Floyd. He also then gets knocked out, but I can't really slam his chin in this one because everyone will know who's ever been in a real fight that it's much harder to knock someone cold when they can see it coming. When they don't know it's coming, you've got a great chance just to knock someone cold. So I'm just going to give you an example of this, right? And it's story time now. On my first job, I was 17, I worked in a chippy, and as me and this other guy who I work with was shutting up, these drunken a-holes came over and kicked the door into my mate's face. He went out and went to have a fight with this guy who kicked the door in his face, and I went out to stop it, thinking someone's going to get hurt, one of these drunken a-holes most likely, and I was right. What happened was one of these drunken a-holes came over to me, started pushing me, so I socked him right in the mouth, and I'm 17, 12 stone, and I've never been in a proper fight before, and I give him a good left hook, and I'm left-handed, so it was a good punch, and I knocked him out cold in the middle of the street, and he was a drunken twat anyway, so I've seen him so many times before, and he's never said shit. So I didn't know worries about that, right? Another time, and this is this year, instead of like years ago, 5 years ago. This year I was in where was I? I was in one of my local places, and this guy came over to me after the Vladimir Klitschko fight, and he must have saw me like going, "Well, hey, you want some money on that?" like that, and he walked up to me, and then he just lamped me in the face, right? Now the thing was, I did see it coming, so I was like, oh, what's this guy doing? So I was sort of like, what's this guy doing? All of a sudden, bam, I'm smacked in the face. So I went pretty mental and landed about a good 4 shots on him. And then my mate pulled me off him. Anyway, he was still standing because he saw it coming. And then my mate let go of me and I went back at him for a few more shots. And then I did, you know, I let a few body shots, a few hooks, and then the guy did go down eventually and I got kicked out the pub. Point being, right, I was 3 stone heavier in muscle. I've got 5 years of technique because I work out. I'm part of a local fight club, stuff like that. And, you know, I couldn't knock this guy down. Until later on, obviously I did eventually, but another one when I was 17 and I knocked this guy cold off 1 punch. You see, hardly ever been in a fight, don't really know what I'm doing, you know, boom, he's down. Same thing with Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, you know. Ortiz didn't see it coming, boom, he's down, you know. That's what you gotta say. So moving back onto this fight now, what's Ortiz got going into this fight? Well, he's the same size as Berto, which is probably a negative thing in terms of stamina. He's got decent power, he's got decent speed, and he's got decent boxing ability, just like Berto. That's why it's probably a bit of a 50-50 fight, really. But due to the mental aspects of Victor Ortiz, you know, I've got to say, Andre Berto is the man in this fight. You see, one problem, obviously, like I've said, is the stamina for Ortiz. He doesn't really go the 12 rounds except against Berto, and there's another problem, is that obviously he's unstoppable when he's mentally there, but he's weak as fuck, and he might as well not turn up when he's not mentally there, right? So it definitely depends on which Ortiz turns up. So I'm going to get straight into my overall prediction, and what I can say is I expect them both to start a lot slower and box each other. They'll respect each other's power, so they're not going to bang away like they did in the previous fight. The winner will probably be the man who has more in the tank going into the later rounds. And, you know, neither have good stamina. Any 12-round boxer would take both of these guys to the cleaners. You know, I expect Berto will have the better stamina due to his work with Victor Conte and all this, like, ooh, is it okay, is it not okay, type of training. And he's got good boxing skill, like I said, and power, and I think it'll be enough to win a unanimous decision victory, or maybe even a late stoppage, but I'm going to go with a unanimous decision for Berto. So you tell me what you think about this fight. Tell me if you think Ortiz is on drugs. Tell me if you think Berto's on drugs. Tell me if you think that it doesn't matter what happened, Mayweather would have knocked out Ortiz any time in a fight. I don't know, you tell me.